Hello, it's Angela on Law and Beauty today, and it's morning, so you have to bear with me. I need to still wake it up. But I wanted to talk about how you can go from this to something that's much, much better, and we're going to check it out. I'm going to do like I'm going to say a 10-minute face. So I get 26 seconds, and I'm going to hurry up, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my ring off so I can get started. So far, what I have on my face is, I just washed it. This is Caudalie grape water. It's really moisturizing and a great setting spray, priming spray. So I'm just moisturized and I have the grape water on my face. So this is a trick that I've been trying that I got from Wayne Goss, who's a phenomenal online presence, YouTube presence, a great artist. And he recommended this tip where you put on your moisturizer. I'm going to start with a tinted moisturizer. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics CC cream, Your Skin But Better CC cream, and it has a 50 sunscreen in it. I'm very fastidious about my sunscreen because I'm 50 and I don't want to look 50 until I'm like 80. But seriously, it protects your skin, and living here in Florida, you have to be really careful about those things. My husband, recently was diagnosed with a type of skin cancer, or something that's a pre-skin cancer, that's turning into cancer on his skin, and it's really frightening. He just was a sun worshiper, and he's Scottish, so he's very fair, and you have to be careful. You have to be really careful. And now that he's had all those painful treatments, I think I have made him a believer about sunscreen and how very important it is for your skin. So what I'm doing here is just putting on a very light layer with my fingers of my CC cream. And I really love this because it protects your skin. It's got a great SPF, and I'm not going for any kind of coverage here. All I'm going for at this point is it's sort of like I'm using this whole little process as a base where you put your moisturizer on. So in this case, I'm using the tinted moisturizer, although he used just a regular, moisturizer. I'm going to use this. And then you put a very sheer dusting of translucent powder on your face before doing your actual foundation. It makes your foundation stay. It makes it look and even just with that, you can see how much, more perfected the skin looks. So I'm going to take this Sephora Pro stippling brush in 44, and I'm going to dip it into some of my, don't make me spill it, my Sonia Kashuk translucent powder. Brightening powder is what it's called, and I always heard really good things about this. I have some much pricier powders from Laura Mercier, and I'm really dying to try the La Mer ones and everything. So I'm taking just the tiniest, I don't even think you can even see the tiniest little bit of product, and going over my face with this powder. And I'm not trying to powder it down, and all I want is a light dusting just to take, some of the stickiness, I think, off from the moisturizer. And this becomes this essentially becomes your base between your moisturizer and, this powdered skin, it becomes your base for your foundation. And just like he pointed out, they always say don't put cream product or liquid product on top of a powder, but in this particular case, with a very light dusting, it works like magic. I really can't say anything negative about it whatsoever. Okay, so that's the CC cream. So now I'm going to go in with my foundation, and even now you can see how much more perfected the skin is already becoming. Okay, ooh, we're already at 5 minutes. Okay, gotta get the foundation on. All right, so I'm using the Clinique Super Balanced Silk makeup. And it also has an SPF of 15 in it. So like a little added layer of protection, which is so key and important for your skin. I mean, because honestly, I mean, I have on a little bit of tinted moisturizer and a powder, and I'm in broad daylight. That's the light that I'm using in my room right now because it's early in the day. And, you know, the skin is looking very, you know, nearly flawless already. So if you want to really get in there and perfect it, I have all these brushes, but I have to say, with this particular foundation in particular, I am such a fan of fingers. I'm such a fan of using my fingers to apply, at least get the product on my face, you know. And then I go in with a brush or a sponge, a beauty blender, or, you know, a brush to kind of perfect it and, you know, diffuse out any, you know, weird edges. But you know, for some reason, you know, my fingers are some of my best tools. They really are. Yeah. So now, and that's just a really light layer. And you don't, you know, you don't have to cake the stuff on. You know, you really don't. It doesn't, and look, it's just, there's no concealer, no nothing. And it's already very, you know, I mean, you know, this is a very sort of light coverage foundation, you know, and I do put foundation on my eyelids because, you know, I think that they're very dark and discolored. And then I can also use some eyeshadow bases, which I think I'll use a new one today to show you. It's a drugstore pick, and it's supposed to intensify and brighten your shadows. But I don't know. I'm not going to wear bright shadows today, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to really wear. I may do something very basic. But yeah, so here we go. I have a very damp beauty blender, so if there's some edges, you know, and I want to kind of, you know, bring it down a little bit, then, you know, I could do that. I can press it into the skin. And so, you know, I can get as much, this is a buildable coverage foundation. I can get as much or as little coverage out of this as I want. And I'm thinking I probably want, I think I'm good with the coverage in general. I have a couple of spots that I'm going to cover with concealer and let my concealer do sort of the rest of the work. And the concealer that I'm going to be using today is one I like very much. It's not a heavy-duty concealer, but it's very moisturizing, and I'm really loving it. It is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Aqua Sealer, and it's really a nice kind of thin liquidy product. But I like the way it feels on my skin, and I think that it gives a really pretty nice finish. So that's what I'm going to go with today. And it comes with this giant doe. It's not even a doe foot. It's like a big, you know. The only thing, it does smell a little bit like nail polish or nail polish remover. So it does have kind of a funky